Hey folks, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. I hope you're doing well. I hope the audio is not too loud. Let me just turn the music down a touch. There we go. I hope everyone's doing well. I think that Karcher got first. I did have to refresh the stream software at one point earlier on, so I think Karcher got first, maybe an hour or so before the stream. But in chat right now, we've got Vogon saying, you guys saw that stream of the past with Brian from the 90s with his special co-host Mick Hucknall from Simply Red. Yes, that's not a bad analogy. I did look a little bit like him, but yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better with my hair done, and the beard's growing back slowly. Although it is highlighting my double chin, which I don't like, but we'll get there. AKB James is here as well, saying good evening. Ballos is here as well, saying hi. Am I first? No, sadly not. Pingu was also posted as well, but he wasn't first either. John O'Warren says hello. Nova Keep says hypers. Finally the J-02. Yes, I've got the first production model just at the on the table at the side of me. Luna Summer says excited. Me too. Looking forward to this, says Glacier. Max Surfy's here as well. Hey man, good to see you again, dude. Good to see you. Huey's here as well. Egret, Theramin Goat, S3LQ, PR Carty. Good evening, folks. Welcome to the stream. I'm really glad to have you here. Flexman is here as well. He says, hey all, hey Jay, 35th. Yeah, you probably are 35th. That's about right. Something like that. Gaffworks says, oi oi, hey man, good to see you. One Creative Mind says, bring back the bedhead. Oh man, I felt so uncomfortable. Like that's like when I get out of bed, that's what my hair looks like, and like literally I can just run my fingers through it 3 or 4 times, and there's no product or anything else in my hair here. That's just me running my fingers through it. It goes like this, right? Which is kind of nice that it styles so easily, but Brian wouldn't let me even do that, so I just had to cope with it and just try and flick it out my eyes, and I was not comfortable. I don't like my hair on my forehead. It just itches and tickles. I think the build command is off. Did I not save that? I updated it. Oh, I haven't saved it, that's why. I've got the screen open because I was updating it. Try it now and it should work. Try it now and it should work. I'd literally got the box to update the build command and I hadn't updated it. I had not saved it. I'd not clicked the submit button. I'd got it open, got it set up, typed out the thing, and hadn't clicked submit. So there we go. Anaki's here as well. Good evening, Anarchy, the stalwart of ever. Thank you so much for the support you show, Anarchy. Thank you very much for being here. Cute Mike for you says, a J-02 buyer in the house. Looking forward to watching this. Yeah, I've got some great quality of life improvements. Some big changes to the board from the prototype that you've seen. Some massive changes in terms of quality of life, making it easier to build. I'll demonstrate some of those live on stream, which I'm really excited to do. A couple of changes to how the board works as well, which we'll talk through as well. But I'm really excited to show you guys it, because I think it's a far better product than what the prototype was. I love Chiletas. Yo, how is it going, mate? Thank you very much for being here, dude. Pingu says, oh god, you've shaved. Hi. Yeah, I shaved for charity, Pingu. So what happened is we were doing Clackers Care last weekend. Thank you very much, Matt Mute, for the subscription. Really appreciate it, dude. And also John O'Warren as well for the subscription. Thank you very much. They're very nice. So last week we were there it is, there's a very nice. We were doing the Clackers Care, and that was trying to raise money for COVID-19 and a few other bits and pieces. And we said if we got to our $10,000 goal, bless me, hay fever, that I would shave my beard off, and so would Brian. So on Monday, because we hit the $10,000 goal on the Sunday night, Monday morning first thing, I shaved it all off. This is what's grown back since Monday. I did shave again on the sides just before the stream on Thursday night, so this is the growth from Monday. It's about, I don't know, 4 or 5 millimeters long now, and then you can see it's starting to come back on size, but it needs to go fully back. Yes, Brian is beardless as well. Yeah. What switches would you recommend for the J-02? Personally, I think linears suit the style best, but you're Captain Rogue, thank you very much for the subscription. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you put linears in it, I think it works better with the carbon fiber plate and the mounting style. If you want to go tactiles, I'd recommend getting a brass plate cut. Flexman, thank you very much for the 5 tier 1 gift subs. Thank you, dude. That's where Captain Rock, Get Rex, Jump Mineral Water, Rage, and Victor got their subs. Thank you very much, dude. Appreciate that. Who is this 16-year-old in Jay's room? It is Jay. It's Jay from the past. This is what I. This is only what I looked like, to be fair, like 6 months ago, because I used to keep it like this. But I do really ooh, very nice. I do really prefer having a beard, and the wife does as well. She prefers me having a beard, so fingers crossed it grows back fairly soon. Jay from 1996. That's about when I started shaving. So yeah. Thank you, Flex, for those gift subs. I really appreciate that, man. So nice of you. Such a good guy, Flex. Drink. There is no command for drink, but it is, because it changes throughout the stream. But it is recorderlig. This is the passion fruit flavour. I know the camera's reversed. This one will show it better when we flick over. There you go. So there we go. Orps is here, says, what's up, Top Clack? Hey man, I'm looking forward to a good stream. Thank you very much for joining. Really appreciate you guys being here. No, it's a cider. It's a premium Swedish cider, Recorderlig, a passion fruit flavoured cider made from pure Swedish swing water. Apparently it's gluten-free and it's vegan, so there you go. Not a beer, no, just a cider. It's really warm today. I may have to turn my fan on, so I apologise if this gets too loud. Oh gosh, that's on heat. Just to try and keep it fly through. Hype Train's incoming. Thank you very much. Pub Goku, thank you very much for the very nice subscription there. That's very, very nice of you. Try the pear next time. I have got some other ones in the fridge. The wife picked me up 4 or 5 of these because I told her I like them for streaming. So she picked up 4 or 5 of these. So I think I might have the pear one. Don't know. I do like a pear cider though. Yeah, it is nice. I'm not sure what the base for this one is. Oh, this is a pear cider with passion fruit flavouring, but you can't taste the pear in it at all. It's all passion fruit, but it's really, really tasty. There you go. Vogon, thank you very much for the tasty, tasty bits, and Chew to get us up to that level 2 hype train. We're almost there at the level 2, 84% of the way there. Getting there, guys, getting there. Max Surfy grew up on these ciders. I hope you weren't drinking them too young, dude. Like, how young were you when you started drinking those? Like, 12? You can't hear Rudy. I can hear them, which means you guys should be able to hear them. Can you guys hear the tasty tasties and things? If not, I'll try and fix them. Swedish baby formula. How is Lodestone coming along? Yes, the new prototype should be with me at the end of this month, so in the next week or so. No, I cannot hear it. Ugh, let me edit that. Let me see if I can increase the volume. The volume is on 100%. Interesting. Interesting. The alert box volume is on 100%, so I can't actually tweak that. Okay. So let me. That should work now. So if someone else now subs, that should be louder, especially on the subscriptions. That should be loud now. Was that? Could you guys hear that? Could you hear the tasty test? Was that louder? Could you guys hear that now? I hope so. You could hear it faint, but yeah, I can't turn it up any louder. I think that's kind of as loud as it goes, which is kind of frustrating. Maybe it's because the music's quite loud. Dial down the music a little bit and see how that goes. There we go. Heard the hype, but it's quiet. Yeah, I don't think you can put them up full volume because they're not supposed to. Ooh, very nice. They're not supposed to distract from the stream, so yeah, they are there. They are there. Hype train level 3 now, guys. That's what we're aiming for. 4 minutes left to get that. Thank you very much for all the bit subscriptions. PMSing Chicken, thank you very much for the 26 months of subs. I Love Chiletas, thank you very much for the 3 months of subs. He says for the shaved boys. Thank you very much, dude. Thank you. I could hear the hype, but it was quiet, says Glacier. Yeah, I can't turn it up any louder. Like there's just no command for it. Like, I'm looking in the settings menu right now, and it's set to 100% for the bits. Yeah, everything up to 5,000 bits is set for to full. So I can't do anything with that. Let me check the subs one. Subs is set to 100 as well, so it doesn't go any louder. I wonder if I need to increase the actual volume of the sound files. Just have Rudy co-host in the corner and do it live. I could do that. Maybe we should get him to record someone's live on stream at some point. Okay, I think now, guys, it's about time to flip over to the other camera. We've got about as many views as we're probably going to get, and also the bot has pinged, so most people are going to be rocking in now. So yeah, I'm really excited to show you guys a few different things. The first thing I'm going to start off with today is the unboxing of the TMO50, and I want to do that for a couple of reasons, which I'll talk through in a second. But I did get this through the post the other day. I didn't join the group buy, but I did manage to trade something for this one, which is really, really nice, and I'm really excited by it as well. It's actually going to be my new workshop keyboard when I move everything into the workshop. Still waiting for internet over there, but we've been in there for about 2 weeks now, and once the internet's over there, the PC that I built the other day on stream, and this will be the keyboard as well. So this is that's going to be my workshop setup. It's going to be in the workshop right out there on the shop floor. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Let's flip over anyway to the camera, and I can show you guys a little bit more detailed. There we go. Okay, so the first thing I want to call out as well is thanks to Canon Keys. You can see the logo up here, and MyKeyboard.eu. Those guys were the vendors for the J-02, so I just want to give those a big shout out right up at the very beginning, and also to say that this is the hard case, almost exactly the same as what will be coming with the J-02s as well. So if you guys want to see what the hard case looks like, this is what you're going to get when your J-02 is delivered. It will be slightly different because the foams inside will be cut for the J-02 and not for the TMO50. But other than that, you'll kind of get a really good understanding of what you guys are going to get. J-01 brand new updates, we'll talk about that later on in the stream, but yes, it's coming. First things first, this does have some really nice little logos on the clasps here. The little Canon Keys logo just on there as well. They're really nice in this really lovely shade of purple, so you will get those as well. I haven't opened this either yet, so this is new to me. So this is the first time I've seen one of these cases. It's the first time I've opened one of these up and had a look at the board as well. So I'm sharing this with you for the first time. Okay. So inside you've got like a little netted area here. This is where we keep PCBs and plates. So we have 2 PCBs for the TMO50 and a PC plate, which is kind of nice. I imagine it will be something similar like that for the J-02, and we'll be able to keep things nice and separate away from the keyboard. In this section here, you'll see that the foam here is cut specifically for the TMO50, but that will be cut specifically for the J-02 when you get these in, guys. Straps there, keep it nice and cozy, keep it nice and tight, keep it nice and protected so it's not going to move around. Although to be fair, it feels like it's pretty firmly wedged in there, so I'm pretty happy with how this looks and feels. EVA foam's nice and nice. Key Bonbon, thank you very much for the 100 cheers, but thank you very much, thank you. Just realised that is slightly too high. Let's just drop that box. There we go. Yes, this is the TMO50 V2, which I'm excited to show you guys. Undo the straps, nice and simple. And then you've got the board wrapped in a nice microfiber cloth. Hype Train level 2 received. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate that. There we go. We get the zap emote. That's pretty cool. As you can see, all nicely milled out right to the shape of the keyboard. This will be milled out for the J-02, so it'll have all of the different areas cut out that you'll need for the board. It'll fit nice and neatly. It'll be quite tight. So yeah, looking forward to that. These cases are really, really nice. Like I got this one delivered the other day, and I've been kind of like, it got delivered to the workshop. I brought it home. Really tough, you know. Board feels like it's going to be protected. This inside a cardboard box feels to me like that's the way forward to ship a keyboard. Really nice and protected. Gives you a nice little travel case. Great place to store stuff as well. Keep all your extra parts in there as well. I think it's really nice. So really, really happy with these. I think they look great. Even the carry handle feels good. It's kind of on metal. That's metal as well. Look, this isn't like just rubber. Those are actually metal handles. So really solid. Yeah, I'm already talking to Upas about how I can get my hands on some of these for some of the boards I'm going to be selling soon as well. So this is the TMO50. Let's take a look. Nice little Canon Keys logo there on the microfiber cloth. That's a nice little touch. And there we go, guys. Smoky polycarbonate TMO50 V2. How nice is that? Oh man, this feels so good. That's so nice. That is dying for some nice infill just to match this smokiness. Nice. Really, really happy with that. Look out for the build stream next Sunday for this, guys, because I'm going to be building this up next Sunday with some H1s ready for the workshop. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to build it with the PC plate for the workshop rather than the brass one. I think that's the way I'm going to go, but we shall see. It looks really nice, though. The brass weight looks great. That looks really good. Really, really happy with that. Look at that. Yeah, polycarb is produced in like in clear, and then they dye the plastic. I don't know exactly the process, but it is dyed. But that's really nice. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. That is so nice. I'd forgotten it. I've got this lovely little lip on the front here as well, which is really hard to show you guys the shape of. But there's like a little ledge here as well, which is really nice. Yeah. So that will be the build stream next Sunday, folks. So please do come and check out that. Let's get this back in its case. And as I say, if you did buy a J-02, you will be getting your J-02 in one of these style cases as well. I think Upath has different sizes of them, so the case might be slightly larger to accommodate the larger board. I'm not quite sure on that. But yeah, it's definitely going to protect your boards, look after them, make shipping a breeze as well. Man, that makes me happy. There we go, all folded away nice and neatly. Makes storing things a cinch as well. Polycarbonate is milled to shape and then sandblasted to remove the milling marks. So it is sandblasted afterwards. So it's machined like on a CNC machine, like you might see Salvan do or anything like that. But yeah, it's not injection molded or anything. It is milled. It's so small. Yeah. It's a small board. It's a 50%, I guess. TMO50. Hey humans, says Rabbit. Thank you very much for joining, dude. What made you choose this one for the workshop? I wanted something light, which is why I've gone for a small form factor PC as well. So I need something that I can move around the workshop from station to station. So I'm going to have a workbench, which will be where most of the stuff happens from a CAD and CAM perspective, possibly some streaming as well, and I'm probably going to start to do build streams from there in the future too. I'll also do the standard Top Clack show from the office space at the workshop going forwards, probably starting in about a month or so, once I've got the office space set up there, just because it's going to be easier to do all of the keyboard stuff in one location, and then I can keep my home life very, very separate, which is something I'm struggling with at the minute. So all streams will be done from there. The PC that I built the other day is actually at the side of me, ready to go to the workshop. I still need to install a whole raft of software on that, but that's the board that's going to be used there. It's small, it's neat, it's compact. I can move it around the workshop dead easily. Yeah, it's just going to be really practical for the workshop. You need a full carbon fiber board, maybe that's going to happen. Chris Bezic is here as well. He says, evening, Jay. Unicorn Salami says, not the SKB seems the perfect fit for a workshop. So I actually use an SKB in my garage at home when I'm doing stuff on the car. So I have a Mac Mini in there. The SKB gets taken down when I'm doing stuff out there, and I use the SKB for that. The problem is I don't want to use it anywhere I'm going to stream because it's really loud and clacky, and I want something that's really light and easy to move around, and you know, that just fits the bill for me. And if it doesn't work, the great beauty is I could always swap it out for another board if it's not fitting my workflow. So yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's the TMO50 unboxing done. I'm really, really happy with that board. I think it looks great, and I can't wait to build it next week. Forged carbon case, but also cheap, please. Pick one or pick the other. Forged carbon is not cheap, sadly. So, you know, you pay your money, you take your choice. Zapri's here as well, says, evening Jay, how you doing? ThinkQue's here too. Querdenka, thank you very much for joining the stream, my dude. If you guys don't already, go and check out Quer's streams because he does some amazing photography streams, and also check out his Instagram as well, Think Quer on Insta, because his pictures are insane, and he may or may not be getting a prototype of mine to photograph in the next few days. So Kakana's here as well. Good day mate, good to see you. Tungsten or bust. Tungsten is a really difficult metal to machine, and it's not cheap to machine, so it's not something that's in plan for any of my projects right now. That being said, just trying to do a bit of promotion for you, Quer, and you know, line some things up. Hey, it's fun. Full lead keyboard, that might be a bit dangerous, but yeah. Anyway, without much further ado, it's probably time to show you guys the production J-02. So this is the first one off the production line. This board will actually go to UPass. So the build I'm putting in this will be my build, but it's actually going to go to UPass as the board because I didn't order any of this particular configuration. So I only ordered ones for me personally and the limited edition boards for a few lucky buyers who bought those. So let me get the board out. As I say, this is the first production board off of the shelf. Excuse fingerprints, I have been toying around with this and playing with it all day, but as you can see, it's got that lovely brass piece at the top. The brass middle is looking really nice and crisp and clean, if the camera focuses. Come on, focus please, camera. There we go. Again, full of fingerprints, the J logo on the base. I've not been able to put this thing down all day. I've already test built this and put it together, but it's looking really good. The anodization is so good on this. Like, it's so nice and smooth. It's really, really good. The brass looks great. There's no problems with any of the brass. The connections to the board all look great. It's absolutely fantastic. That's GMK Honeywell with no accents on it. GMK Honeywell. So I do want to show you guys a few things on this because some things have changed. Now, let me list them off for you. So first of all, we've changed the gaskets. They are now self-adhesive, and although I've put gaskets in here to fit, I will take one out and put a new one in just so I can show you guys how easy it is now to put the gaskets in. It's so simple. So I do want to show you guys how to do that. Other changes have been to some ways in which the parts slip together. So there is now no chance of you not getting the parts to align and be nice and flush on these edges. And I can show you how that's been achieved inside. There's also now no chance of the gaskets bowing the case here. So if you had the gaskets trapped, there was a chance that the gasket could bow the case out. That was seen on the first prototype. We've fixed that as well. James AKB came up with a great suggestion on how to fix that. So I will show you how that works as well. We've also made some changes to the pen rail, not in terms of its look, its feel, or its aesthetic. It's still there, it's still functional. The only thing is, it's no longer magnet mounted. And the reason for that is threefold. First of all, the company we were using for the magnets for the prototypes and for the J01 run no longer exists. They've gone bankrupt and they've closed down. So the manufacturer that we were going to use is no longer available. The second reason is kind of to protect the boards as well. So I actually had another one of these prototypes shipped around, and it went to a couple of different people, and the magnet pen rail actually came out, even though it was in like a hard case. It was in a TX case. The magnet pen rail came out, and even though it was wrapped in a microfiber cloth, the pen rail came out because it got a big hit or it was dropped or whatever, and it actually scuffed all of the top of the board. Now the last thing I want you to do is get a board that's scuffed or damaged or broken in any way, shape or form. So we have taken the decision to actually change it to a 3-screw system to hold it into place. It doesn't change the look, it doesn't change the feel. You can still interchange it if you want to buy new ones or anything else like that, and I will run periodic group buys for replacement parts and things like that, but just purely on the grounds of safety, and I hope you guys can appreciate and understand that. The last thing I want is people to get boards that are damaged in transit. It's just not something I want to consider. It's definitely firmer, it holds together better. We could have found another supplier for the magnets, but that may have meant changing the design of the board depending on their tolerances for magnets and things like that, and this was a much easier way, and we didn't want to delay production anymore. It's much more secure, it's much more robust, it feels more solid. It also doesn't have any rattle in the case. Now the other thing that the magnets had is that there was a slight bit of play in how the pen rail fit because of the magnets, and if you shook the board you get a slight rattle. Now that's all gone, so it is an overall improvement. It's a shame we couldn't use magnets, but it just didn't work for this particular product when we actually came to test it out. Shipping a board with magnets in it is a really big no-no. We would have had to wrap all of these individually and ship them inside the box separate, and because it's just a thin piece of brass, it could have bent or it could have broken or chipped or got damaged. So I'm really, really sorry about that, guys. That being said, the lodestone, if you do want magnets, the lodestone is coming. That's still going to happen. But let me show you guys what I mean about the about the board and how it works and how it goes together. Okay. Trying to remember which adapter I need. So, still using 4 Torx in the corners to take the board apart. Yeah, keyboard quill. That's a bar that you rest your pen on. You can see one here on the J-01, and you can just drop a pen on it just like so. So there you go. It's dead simple, dead easy. In fact, I'll just leave that there actually. So 4 Torx screws, 1 in each corner, just to hold the outside of the board together. Just standard bump-ons on the bottom. Pen rail, everything, absolutely. Okay, and as soon as this comes out, then I can show you the first changes that we've made as well. Okay, so that's the base now free and loose. I want to take the base off. The first thing I want to show you guys is we've now got alignment pins. So before, the brass layer was free to slide around on this surface. You'll now see that there's alignment tabs all around the board just to hold everything in place. So that's the first quality of life improvement. That means you can't get alignment wrong. There isn't really any way to misalign the board unless you don't get these in place. That makes it much, much easier to build and put together. You can see that there's corresponding grooves in the top half of the case just to correspond to that as well. So in these places here. So that's the first quality of life improvement. Chet UK says, hi Jay, hey man, good to see you. That reminds me of something, need to order a fitting pen for the J-02 LE. Yeah, maybe you do, maybe you do. I do have some nice silver fountain pens if anyone wants one of those. I ended up buying 10 of them randomly. I meant to buy 1 and they sent 10 off of eBay because I ordered the wrong thing. Stupidly, I bought a batch lot instead of 1, so. That brass sandwich, perfect. Yeah. Looking at the bottom of the inside of the brass now, you can see this is where the 4 screws to hold the pen rail are now in place. Dead simple. But it does make a huge difference to how these boards put together. It makes them so much more secure for shipping. The rest of the pen rail is unchanged. The dimensions are the same. And I apologise about my hay fever is getting pretty bad. Not quite undone that screw. And there you go, you can see it leaves a pen rail behind. Pen rail just has 4 screw holes, threaded screws. Come on, camera focus. There you go. Just in there, which is nice. Makes it easy to put together. It's a lovely piece of brass. Feels really solid. Yeah. And just 4 screws to hold those in place. Looks really solid. Yeah, it is really solid. Cryptoid's late, but he's here anyway. That's fine. Let me buy one of these boards, damn it. Reserve an extra for me. There will be some extras. Check out mykeyboard.eu and Canon Keys, and also ILMKB if you guys are interested in extras, because they will have them. It's about 2.5 kilograms is the board Glacier, give or take a couple of grams. I think that's a full build. It's like 2.46 kilograms or something like that. You've ordered 3 keycap sets off me. Oh well, thanks man. I appreciate the support. I appreciate it. I'm not selling any extras of these though, sadly, because my company wasn't set up when these went into group buy. So these will all be through Canon Keys, mykeyboard.eu, and ILMKB. Extras will be available after the group buy ships, which is expected to be August. Okay, so a couple of other things that I want to call out as well. Before I mentioned that you can no longer get separation in between here where the gaskets are. The prototype had some issues where it was bowing slightly, and the reason for that is because there was a long stretch between the 2 corner screws and the actual pressure here to hold the gaskets closed. That's now fixed because we've now got an additional 4 screws on the inside of the case that you can see here, here, here and here, and that just means any length of the board it now just compresses and holds the brass to the board, and then on the outside it's then compressed by the outside of the case. So you have compression in 8 points to hold the gaskets all solidly in place and neatly aligned. So that's the second quality of life improvement that we've done to the boards. Alignment grooves are great, though I would think that there would be a manufacturing tolerancing challenge. They're down to, I think it's 1 thou, which is less than which is just a slight bit more than 1 micron, I think, if I remember rightly. But there should be no issues at all with these. Will I be giving this a J score? No, it's not fair of me to J score on my own boards because I'll be biased against them. It's exciting to see you guys progress and establish yourselves proper. Have high hopes for you lot. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Okay. So that's that. Now, the one thing is, this is where you can see how tight the tolerances are. If you don't lift this all at once, because the brass is actually pinned to the top by 4 roundels that come through as well. So the top piece actually has 4 roundels in it. If you don't get this just right and lift off all 4 at once, this becomes really tight to take off because of how tight the manufacturing tolerances are. So you do have to get this just right to get it to come apart. So if you get it too far apart at one side, it ain't going to come apart at the other side. So this is a bit fiddly, I'll be honest, but it means that the tolerances are spot on. So it's not actually stuck, it's just a case of lifting it off in a really even manner, which is really hard for me. There you go. You just have to be gentle with it. Top case on the outside, just as you'd expect, nice smooth anodization. Flipping it over onto the inside, you can see that we've got the screw points for the 4 additional screws. And the other thing you'll see as well is the gasket's pre-installed here. These gaskets are now self-adhesive to the case, so this gasket is all fully installed. I'll take this one off and show you how to install it yourselves later on. I have got some spares to one side, so I'll show you that as part of the build. In terms of the base, you can see the other 2 layers of the gasket are fully installed. There's no flopping gaskets around. These gaskets are stuck in place. They are glued in. They make it so easy to put together. And just to show you guys how easy this is to put together, let me just grab the plate. So once you've got your plate and PCB soldered together, and I'm only going to use the plate here, just for reference purposes, you can just see how easy it is, how much the plate lines up to the shape, like that, and you just literally pop it in. You can press it and compress it in between the gasket layers. It sits nicely, it goes in, you just push it all the way around, he says. And there we go. Within 4 or 5 seconds, this quality of life improvement now puts the PCB plate assembly flush with where it should sit. So that is super duper easy to put together now. Even with the PCB on the bottom, it just slots into place, and you'll see that when I put it together. Please bear in mind that this is a prototype plate, so I've had to hack it a little bit. Prototypes have things. This might be the production model, but I'm still using a prototype PCB and a prototype plate on this, so there we go. So there we go. That's just to bear in mind. And as I say, these just install in 2 layers. So you install the base layer first, and you install the top layer afterwards. They're really easy to align because you've got these little cutouts in gaskets as well, so it's dead easy to align them, get them into the corners, and to put them all the way around. So you can see there's another one of the alignment pins here, and another one here, and then also in the corners as well. They're nicely rounded off, so you can see a little bit of fluff just stuck to it there on the outside. So really easy to put together. Let me show you how easy these are to install. So I'm just going to pull this one out. I haven't tried to uninstall one of these yet, actually, so I don't know how strong or how difficult this is going to be, but they're not designed to be removed once they're installed, and that way you can just switch out your build quite easy. You can take the board apart, put a different plate and PCB assembly in there. I might have to do one of the other ones, you know. Let me see. I haven't tried to take these out since I installed them. I should have done this before the stream. You shouldn't need any spare gaskets. This is significantly easier to build than the original J-01, yes. Okay, so right, okay, scuffed build stream already because I'm going to end up leaving a load of adhesive behind, but I'm having to rip this gasket to take it out. The idea is that once the gaskets are in, they shouldn't need to be removed. So let me show you guys. This is how good the adhesive is on these gaskets. It's proper 3M adhesive, really good stuff. You can see it's leaving loads behind. It's a struggle to get it out, so you don't need to be worried about needing extra gaskets. They're going to be installed pretty good. There we go. Let's see if we can clean this up a little bit. Yeah, the J-01, the gaskets didn't adhere. You just had to rest them in place, the same as the J-02 initial prototype. So we did want to change this up and make it much easier. I'm just going to try and clean up as much of this as I can. It's not going to be perfect, but for the stream it doesn't need to be. I can always tidy it up off stream later on, because this is going to go to UPass eventually. So I'm just going to quickly try and tidy this up a little bit. I should have done this before the stream, sorry guys. I just wanted to show you guys how it was all put together to start the stream off. So just going to try and take as much of this crap off as I can. I took it off because I'm gonna, yeah, I'll get some Goo Gone and some acetone and clean it off properly off the stream. I just wanted to show you guys how one of the gaskets is installed and how easy it is to do on stream. But Upas and I were building this together in chat the other day, and I had to test the gaskets out from the prototype files. So just to make sure everything aligned correctly, it did, as you could see. And of course I just want to show you guys how easy it is to put together. So I'm just going to take the sticky off. I'll clean this up properly before I ship it to Upas anyway. But in terms of installing the gaskets, it's pretty simple. So it's just a case of taking your gasket this way around. This gasket is actually used in two places. It goes this way up with the adhesive to the top case on the top case. It's actually the same gasket as what's used in the base layer here, this layer here. It's the same gasket, it's exactly the same, so you can't get it wrong. When you stick into the top case, when you stick into the bottom case, you then also have a thinner gasket, which is this layer here, which goes around. All of the gaskets installed in the same way though, so it's dead easy. Seems clean enough. It's clean enough for government work, right? In terms of putting these in, it's dead simple. 3M tape on the back. You just peel it off. Align where you need to go. And this is dead simple because you can just push it into place. And then just peel off the gaskets as you go. And of course you've got the alignment pins in all of the right places, so you can easily align it on all of the edges. The top aligns by the two corners. So you guys can see this is just really simple. No trickery involved. Much more simple than the original J-01 gaskets, as I'm sure anyone who's built one of those will agree. Querdenker will tell you that this looks far easier, I'm sure already. Do you know what? Just take that off now. Push it into place around the edges. Make sure it's all aligned nice and neatly. And there we go. Gasket installed. What did that take? A minute? 2? Gasket nice, easily installed. So there we go. Nice and simple to put together. I hope you guys will agree that that does look way better than the J-01 gaskets. It's dead easy to do. Because they're black as well, you can't even see them, so they're not like the red ones from the original J-01. These are, you know, properly easy to install. Does that look 10 times easier than the J-01? Does that look, or the original J-01, does that look like something you could do quite easily? Yeah, so much easier, so much better. So thank you very much to AKB James and Upas for your support in helping us get that gasket solution in place. AKB James came up with the all-hole mounting thing and everything else. Is this modified gasket making its way to the J-01 redesign? Some say it might. Some say it might do. I'm getting pinged now. Pinged from Vogan. Reach out to Rudy for a second file and treated it, normalized and compressed. Excellent. So I've got a louder, tasty MP3. Thank you very much. Thank you. Some say I like it. Yeah. Some say it might be. I wasn't really expecting it to be this easy after seeing the last build. Just some small quality of life improvement changes, guys. So as you can see, those quality of life improvement changes make up a way easier board to build. The alignment pins on the inside of the case and on the brass. The screw-in pen rail makes it so much easier to install and safer for transit. The gaskets being, you know, adhesive. You've got 3 gaskets to install. It takes about a minute per gasket. It's about 3 minutes worth of work. Much easier than 15 minutes of faffing around with the J-01 gaskets as they were. So easy to put in place. place. Really easy for plate alignment as well. Once it's all in place, you can just literally push the plate into position, and it just goes in nicely. You just push it all the way around like so. He says, there you go, and that's the plate installed. PCB and etc. underneath it, dead simple. You know, really easy to do, guys. The only thing I haven't done here is done the JST connector. The other quality of life improvement is that the JST connector does have a connector on both sides, which means it's completely removable, completely changeable, and it means that it doesn't risk damaging your case either side, because a lot of the time people on the J01, this would be soldered to the daughter board, this would connect to the plate PCB, and it would get snagged or whatever, and it would snap off of the daughter board. So vastly improved quality of life improvement there as well. So thank you to UPAS for that one, and for doing the PCBs too. Wish I could have joined on this. Pen bars get me going. J01 redesign coming soon. Oh, that's all I can say. Gio says, can I buy some gaskets for the J01? What I want to do is for the original 15 or 16 J01 owners, is when I get the actual group buy ones of the gaskets for these through, I will try and order you guys some ones for the original J01, and hopefully that will help you guys. So yeah, and I will do that free of charge for the guys that own the original 15. Yeah, so the plate is actually flush on this side. The gasket sits proud of where it needs to be on this side, so that all of the compression takes place from this side into the gasket. It's 0.2 millimeters of compression across the 3 layers. So there you go. Guys can do the math, and that just sits in place, nice and even. So easy to put together now. So easy to put together now. If you're having 3, you're having to pay. Yeah, you're gonna have to pay, Gio, if you want 3. Yeah. Is a J03 planned? Yes, there is a J03 planned, which is a mini 1800 inspired board. That is going to be some way away. COVID has delayed the progress I wanted to make on that, so that's probably going to be towards the back end of this year. This new system makes having multiple decks simple. Yeah, you can have multiple PCBs and plates, and you can just switch them out, just like that. That's it, it's done. You don't have to worry about the gaskets or anything else like that. You can just put the new one back in, job done. So easy, so simple, you know. These all little things that mount up, you just learn as you start to make and produce more and more keyboards, and yeah, you do only need one, Gio. You do only need one set of gaskets, yeah, because once it's installed, that's it, it's installed, and you're good to go with any revision of plate or PCB you need to. So I hope you guys are really happy with these kind of improvements to the gasket systems that we've made, and the rest of the board as well. I'm really sorry that the magnets aren't going to be there, but the whole rest of the board has so many improvements that I think that they make up for the lack of using magnets. And of course the boards will ship more safely now as well. You guys saw these hard cases for the TMO earlier on. This is very similar to what we'll be shipping these boards in as well. So they're going to be really solid, really rigid, really secure, and now there's no risk of these pen rails coming out under it. If these are dropped or something upside down, there's no risk of these pen rails coming out and damaging the boards, which is what we wanted to protect. So really hope that you guys are happy for these, because I'm excited to see these ship. And this black, I know it's covered in fingerprints because I've been fawning and fondling it for the past couple of days, but you know, it's such a nice anodization job. UPAS has really knocked it out of the park on the production of this. Really has. I think it's really great. Really excited for when these ship. Yes. Inspired by what now? 1800 inspired. Yeah. I can sell chat as a J1 Proto owner. This is a big deal. It's a huge deal. It makes it so easy. So simple. Just put the gaskets in once, takes 2 minutes. You just line it all the way up around the edges, push it down, in. It's got so many alignment points as well, because we've got the screw in tabs here. So you can see the gaskets are shaped for that. You know, makes it so much easier to install. Really does make it easy to install. So yeah. To celebrate the success of the gaskets, Top Clack boys should clean shave again. Easy clap. No, we should be allowed to grow our beards back because of it. A JTKL maybe at some point. Wow, that's good. Okay, folks. So time to actually start to do the build. So I'm just going to rest that together and move this to one side. Now we are using carbon fibre plate, which is what you'll get in the group buy. This is a prototype one that I've had to trim and change. Upas has got the actual final ones. This one's ISO. This is going to be my personal build. So when I send Upas this board, he's just going to get the board, not the build that's going inside it. But yeah, this is just going to be my personal one. So you won't have this kind of horrible cutout here. This is just me having to tweak it at home and trimming it with flush cutters and things like that. So don't worry about that. It will look nice and neat and tidy. I swear Jay has all of the endgame boards. Not all of the endgame boards. You name an endgame board and I probably don't have it. Going to keep asking for a J-pad until it inceptions itself into your mind. We could do a J-pad maybe. I'm not sure you could call it a pen rail though. Maybe like a... I don't know, what would you call it? What would you call a pen rail on something that small? Not sure what you'd call it. Okay. Let me just move these other gaskets out of the way. Again, you can just see, guys, just how easy these gaskets are to line up. They've got these lovely little curves cut out of them. You know, it just makes them so easy to align. They're a lot more robust as well than the original J-01 ones are, even though they're a little softer in terms of their durability. But they're super strong, super tough. You know, super difficult to uninstall once they're installed, but you shouldn't need to. Okay. Every pencil needs an eraser. Eraser rail. There you go. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. Pen, pencil rail, eraser rail. Like it. Yeah. Inkstand. You could put an inkstand in there. Yeah. Yeah. I'll just drill a hole in yours, Geo, and we'll do it that way. I'll just manually drill a hole. Okay. Oops, wrong way around. So I don't lose the bits that I need later on. I want a J-pad, but one that's wider than it is long for media controls. Well, maybe we'll have something coming on that front. It's not a J-series style thing, but there is something coming on that front. A JTKO would be a great excuse to design a J numpad, which is a great path to a J macro pad. See, it just makes so much sense. Bless me. Excuse me for just 1 minute, guys. I'm just going to go and grab some tissue, just because I keep sneezing. I will be one minute, if that. Quick, steal shit. Nice. Yeah, go on. Pebble doesn't count. Yeah, the pebble doesn't count. That's not. I'm not counting that. That's very much a flex design as well. Not one of the J series ones. Dog stream. You guys want to see the dog? Okay, I'll get the dog. Gigi. Come on, Gigi. Come on, chicken. Geeks. Treats. Come on, chicken. I've had to bribe the dog with treats now. Come here, chicken. Hmm? Hello. There you go. Treats, bait and switch. Yeah. There we go. Hello. You gonna say hello? Hello. This is how we solder keyboards, guys. We do this and this and this. Roof. You good girl. You good girlie. There we go, guys. Doggo on stream. J-02, so easy to build. The doggo can do it. He now nips the proto. Yeah. Having absolutely none of it. The dog's not interested today. Normally, I can't get her out of this room, so the fact that she didn't want to come in today was crazy. What does he say about Jim? She. What does she say? Sorry, depleted Vespine. It's a girl. She is cute. This is the actual mastermind of all this, all the brains of the operation, the designer, Doggo. Absolutely. Absolutely. She keeps me honest. GMK Greg sausage roll when if you had a sausage roll, she'd be your best friend for about 30 minutes. Yeah. Cool. Okay then, guys, it is time to do the build and to get this all put together. So as I say, we will be building this with Gateron inks. I do have the switches all pre-prepared. These have been broken in on another build. We're going to use these nice Gateron inks. Come on, focus. Focus, please, camera. I'm not sure why the camera's not focusing. There we go. There we go. I believe the production PCB is going to be black. This is the very first prototype of this particular one that Upas sent me. It did get slightly damaged in transit. The JST connector came off, so I had to resolder that on. But it was a quick fix, and it looks okay. It does work. I did test it earlier on. It's not the most robust fix, but it's a prototype at the end of the day. It's a prototype PCB. These things happen. So this is what we're going to be building with. We are going to be using original GMK screw-in stabilizers. These are really, really old. I've had these for about 3 years. They're the last of my original stock. They have been clipped already. They have been ultrasonically cleaned, and that's what I'm going to build with today. The inks are not filmed. No, these are round 1 inks. So I've had these inks since the original one. These are actually the inks that Mike sent me to test when he got the first batch in from Novel Keys. So, you know, that's quite a long time ago. But the first things first, let's get our stabilizers installed. Now we only need 3 stabilizers today. We're going to do backspace, full, ISO enter. We're going to do split right shift. I think if we can do that on this board, I'll double check. I think it's supposed to split right shift. I think. I don't know. And then of course we've got the space bar as well. We're going to do ISO, so it's split left shift as well. Let's just check that we can do split right shift. Actually, let's just check that we can do it. Just kind of like pre-aligning stuff here, just to make sure that I'm right in this does split right shift. Yeah, okay. That looks like split right shift to me. So yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Why the hell not? Stabs in switch basket. Monkers. Yeah. Well, the stab wires were just in there because these old stabilizers that I've had for a long time. So. Okay, so these have already been clipped, so they're nice and clear from the clipping perspective. So now we just need to lube these and pop these together. Just using dielectric grease for these guys. Gonna lube the wire first and then put the wire into the housings. So I just want to put a nice kind of blob on here, smooth it out, make sure it's covered all surfaces. You want it to be relatively thick here, but not too thick. The last thing you want to do is to have to remove lube because you put too much on. It's always easier to add more lube at a later date if you need to. Okay, that's one side done. Now we do the other side. How are they lubed? You can see on the build command that these are lubed with 205 grade 0 on the stem and 104 on the spring. There is 5 switches that are not lubed because the board that these came from had fewer switches than what I need for this particular build. So I do need to do those, so you'll see my lubing mechanism method shortly as well. Okay. What keycaps are on the J-01? That's Honeywell without any accents. It's GMK Honeywell with no accents. Okay, that's the spacebar done. 7U spacebar. Now we'll do the backspace stabilizer. Mr. Petrov is here late, but hello. Hello, Mr. Petrov. Tomorrow I'll be spending a lot of time looking at some things for you. But he already knew that. He already knew. Inks are going in this. We're going to be using inks, round 1 inks. These are from the original batch that Mike sent me. So if you guys have ever read the Top Clack Inks review that I wrote a couple of years back, these are the switches that were provided for that review. This is that exact batch. So they're being broken in, desoldered, lubed, and now they're ready to go. As I said, I do need to lube 5 of the same batch of switches that have never been used as well, just because the build that I took these out of had fewer switches in. Okay. Now we're going to do the one for the ISO enter. Again, just make sure it's a nice even coating of lube. You don't want too much. It's always easy to add more than it is to remove it. So make sure you're not adding too much. Thick. Yeah, nice. So I hope you guys are really excited about the quality of life improvements, because I think that they're all basically game changers for this. So just some simple tweaks really change how easy the board is to build and how much more robust it'll be over time as well. So I hope you guys are happy with those, and I hope you'll all be supportive of the announcements when I make them tomorrow. And as I say, definitely go check out mykeyboard.eu and Canon Keys, because they were both amazing vendors for the J-02. And I'm excited to see these boards when they start to get pushed out in the coming months and weeks. Not to in the loop on this keyboard, but will there ever be another round of the J01, or can you only get it on the aftermarket? You can't even get it on the aftermarket. There are only 16 of them in use around the world. One of them's here, another one's in my cupboard. The rest of them are with the owners. None have ever been sold. They all still exist with the original owners. No one's ever flipped to J01 or anything else, which is really nice. But there is a new round of the J01 coming. There is some design changes and tweaks, so it will not be exactly the same as the original, but the layout and the view from the top will remain the same. The mounting method is similar but not identical, and there's a few other tweaks and changes made as well. But that is coming soon, so there will be some announcements on the new J01 maybe towards the end of this month, early next month, something like that. As soon as I've got the Pro 2 in hand, I'll start to do some teasers and some videos and stuff like that as well. So you will be able to see some J01 stuff soon, and there will be a group buy coming as well soon for the J01. So yeah, exciting times. How long do you think it'll take for the J02 to finish production? So Upas is in charge of that. I'm not 100% certain. I think we're still on target for the August date as far as I'm aware. He hasn't let me know of any changes to that just yet. So I'm assuming we're still on track for August. Gio wants a J02 now. You had your chance, Gio. You had your chance. Okay, that's that one all lubed up. Just going to take a little bit more lube on my brush now. Now time to do the second 2U stabilizer. They're just lubing the inserts of the sliders here, just to make sure that they've got plenty of lubrication on them. Again, not too much. It's easy to add lube now than it is to put too much on and take it away, so you can always add more lube later if you need to. Always go light with the lube, add more if you need to tweak it. You know, much easier that way than it is to overlube it and then have to really struggle to get it nice. Ooh, very nice. Penguin Droppings, thank you very much for the resub. Really appreciate that. Any news about Maglev? Yeah, so the revised Lodestone production is well, the revised Lodestone prototype is on its way to me at the minute. It's coming with the revised J01 as well as some other prototypes as well. So I think that's going to be a really nice mail day when that turns up. And yeah, as long as that one works how Flex and I intended it to, there will be a group buy just around the corner. I think the revised J01 is likely to run before the Lodestone just because it's significantly easier to run and it has less complexity. But yeah, excited to run both. There we go. All nicely lubed up. Penguin says, sick AF, but tuning in for the J-02. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you saw the quality of life improvements that we've made to the board, Penguin drop-ins, and I hope you're still interested in the J-01. I got into this dang hobby after the group buy, so I didn't. So I certainly deserve one. What, you got into the hobby after the J-02 group buy? Man, that was only in February, 8th of Feb. I think we did the J-02 group buy. Just going to install the backspace stabilizer first. Then we'll install the ISO one, and then we'll do the 7U space as well. Bear in mind, guys, that this PCB does support a 6.25U bottom row as well as the 7U bottom row, but the plates that will come with the boards will only support a 7U bottom row. You will need to have your own plate produced if you want anything else. I am going to do a group buy for a series of plates for the J-02 that are slightly alternative if anyone does want one that will fit a 6.25U bottom row in the near future. That won't ship with your board, it will ship separately, so it won't go to like the group buy and ship with whoever you bought the board from. It will come separately directly from me, but we are going to do that at some point soon. Hopefully by the end of this month I'll get that live. Again, when tightening these screws, guys, you don't want to go too tight. All we're doing here is just trying to hold the stabilizer in place. We're not trying to kill the PCB or anything else, so just going finger tight. As soon as you start to feel some resistance, give it another quarter turn, and then leave it at that. Time now for the spacebar stabilizer. There we go. Screw this in. So I'm here for the J-01 and Lodestone. Don't doubt my madness. I shall hope you do buy both Penguin drop-ins. I'd love to be able to ship both of them to you. Would you tell us? Thank you very much for the subscription, dude. That's really, really nice of you. Thank you, dude. Subscribed at tier 1. Thank you. Split backspace and there would only be 2 stabs. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Split backspace and there would only be 2 stabs. The beauty of ISO, man. The beauty of ISO. This is the J-02. Build is the command you want. We unboxed the TMO50 earlier on, and now we're building the J-02. This is the first production J-02 off of the production line. Okay, there we go. So that all aligns nice and neatly. So now we're just going to put the switches in place. I do have 5 switches that I do need to lube, so once we've installed this, before we solder the board together, I will be quickly lubing those switches. You guys will get to see firsthand how I lube switches. As I say, these are lubed with a Krytox 205 grade 0. They're original round 1 Gator on inks, 205 grade 0 on the stems, and 104 Krytox 104 on the springs. Don't put an enter or shift and you've got no stabs. Well, there you go, man. There you go. One of the things I actually do really like, which you can do on some boards, is completely split enter, which means that if you look here, it actually puts a key here and a key there. So you have that key there on ANSI, and then ANSI has these 2 joined together. So split ANSI is technically ISO, but if you put a split in here, it's split all 3 ways, so it's split enter completely, and that's actually really, really nice to use. It does get rid of another stabilizer, it gives you another key, it's technically more functionality, and it's just a really nice experience. The keyboard already built on screen, that's the J-01, that's the precursor to this board. This is the J-02, this is the second in the J series. The rain does that too? Yes, yes, it does split enter as well. Excuse me, my hay fever is really bad today, guys. It's really warm, my hay fever is terrible. Zyber's tuned in late. Haven't missed any tasty J-01 news. Only the fact that the J-01 is returning soon. We've finished the design, we've ordered a prototype. I'm going to do a run of 40 or 50 units. First come, first serve. Should be live at some point next month, I hope, assuming that everything's okay with the prototype, but you'll have plenty of prior warning and announcement for that. I find myself a 60% PCB that supports that for upcoming profit if I feel like it. Nice. Okay. As I say, we're just going to fill this out with switches, and then I'll have the last 5 to quickly lube, so you guys will be able to see firsthand how I do my lubing, which I haven't done on the stream for so long. Oops. Is that going to be 6 switches I need to lube? No. There we go. First come, first serve. That case is going to ensue. Oh boy. Yeah. It'll be fine. It will be fine. I'm sure everyone who wants one will have a chance to get one. It's not like it's going to sell out in 5 seconds or anything like that. I'm sure if you've got a little bit of time, you'll be able to make it. Have you decided what colours you'll offer it in? Yes and no. Yes for at least 2 of the options, but there will be 3 options. Third option just needs to be confirmed, and that's just waiting on some sample colour chips at the minute. J-02 sold out in 1 minute. Now the J-02 sold out in 2 minutes and 37 seconds for 200 units. So there we go. It'll sell out in a minute max. No, I can't see that. I mean, I can't see it. The CA66 has this kind of spacing as well. That's another nice board. And I've just bent that pin. Could feel that as soon as I pushed that into the board that I'd bent the pin. Yeah. Super easy to do when switches have already been used once and then desoldered. Okay. It will sell out so fast. Bots will see to that. I can't see people using bots for something that I run. I really can't see that, guys. I just can't see why anyone would want to use a bot for it. It just doesn't feel like that's going to happen. Inks on CF, the classic J. Absolutely, man. I did put it up to a vote in Leandron's Mechanistic server earlier on today. Those guys informed me that this was the right choice to make, so we did make this choice. As I say, guys, the plate won't look like this here. Your plate will actually have the options correctly installed for split or full, so you know it won't look like this one here. This is just me having to cut this plate for the original J-02 prototype. The production plates UPAS has done are looking absolutely glorious and beautiful. The pen rail is screwed in now, yes. I am me, you are you. Thank you very much for the raid, man. I really appreciate you joining, dude. Doing the sequel to your J01. I know you're a J01 owner. Yeah, the reason for it, Nova Keeps, was threefold. One, the company that we're using for the magnet supplier, which supplied the magnets for the J01, they went bankrupt during the whole COVID fiasco earlier on this year, after the group buy, but before we placed the order for the parts. Secondly, a J02 that got shipped around to a few different people actually had the pen rail, even though it was magnetic held in place, fall out, and it damaged the whole top of the board. That's not something I want to happen to anyone's board in production, so you know we are trying to avoid all of that. Okay, so it looks like I was wrong. We only need 4 switches to loop, so we'll lube these up quickly and then we'll carry on with the build. So the J01 will likely sell after the Clarabelle, June the 15th. Yes, it will be after the Clarabelle, yes. Yeah, it's not designed to be a fidget tool, as Gio says. J01 news in the next month or so, absolutely. Now, normally I wouldn't lay out my switches like this. I'm only doing it because I'm in a rush. Normally I have a tray that I put them in. I'll show you guys in a second. Normally I use this and lay my switches out in it when I'm doing the whole, but we're only doing 4 switches, so it's fine to do it a little bit differently. June 15th is my birthday. Thanks, Jay, for the J-01. Haha, funny. How old will you be, Penguin? Okay. So then, I need Krytox 104 and my 104 brush, which is here. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're just going to drop the spring inside the housing. We're going to dip the brush just lightly into the Krytox. We've got a small drop. We're going to go inside the spring, and we're just going to roll that around up and down the inside of the spring, just to gently lubricate it all the way through. As simple as that. So I'll try and do this a little bit closer to the camera so you guys can see. We're going to go into the spring, roll it around, and that's it. It's one spring done. UIU says, I love my JR1. It's an awesome piece of kit. Thank you, man. I'm glad that you love it. We spent so long talking about it in Seattle last year. I'm so glad you were happy with it. That's 2 done. Touch the tree for good luck. 8th of June, so way ahead of you. My brother's on the 9th of June as well. Yeah. Boomer age. Boomer age? You can't be boomer age. Okay. Racing Giraffe says a happy early birthday. There you go. Okay, that's all of the springs looped. There we go. I'm just going to change brushes now. Move over to my Krytox brush. I'm just going to use some 205 grade 0. We just want a really, really tiny amount on here. And then we're just going to paint this, basically the side of the sliders. So we're just going to put a really fine coat on. You're almost wiping off as much as you put on. I'm going to flip that around. I usually have some stem tweezers, but I don't have any to hand at the minute. I usually 3D print, so I need to 3D print some more because I gave all mine away. And then we're going to pop that on the spring. I'm going to rinse and repeat. Really, really thin amount, guys. It's much easier to add more lube later than it is to take it away, so you just want to go really lightly with the lube, just coating it nice and evenly on both sides. Talking about lubing, do you have any experience with RO59? I'm not a fan of RO59. It's not my favourite lube, I'll be honest. I have used it a couple of times, but I don't like the fact that you have to do multiple coats, leave it to dry. It's almost as bad as lubing Alps, and that's kind of painful sometimes. So I would much rather not use RO59 if I can help it. Oops. Typical, I've just dropped that stem. I'm going to have to open up another switch. This is why I like to use my my lube station. And that's why I never lube here as well. I very, very rarely lube while I'm sat here. Okay. Okay, that's one side done. I'm just going to do the other side now. Okay, so just give you guys a close-up. That's kind of how much lube I put on there. Just enough to make it show a really light, fine coat. So hopefully that gives you guys a kind of understanding of how much lube I put on. Man, I'm happy it turned out so well. It sounds fantastic. It looks great and has a pen rail. What's not to love? Thanks, man. Thanks. That's an adorable olive you have there. I love my little olive plushie. Thank you very much to Mike for sending me it. I've got the Gator Ron over on the shelf as well. I had to pick up a giant hairball. The cat decided to puke at my feet. What did I miss? Just me lubing some switches. That's about it. I was just lubing the switches I was missing to put into the build. So there we go. Just make sure I'm comfortable with these and that they feel nice. I have to go wash my hands, dip out for a bit, but I love the content and we'll be in and out for the rest of the stream. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. We'll take care. Enjoy whatever you got to do, dude. Okay, and there we go, guys. That's the board now put together. Now it's time to do our favourite fun thing, solder. So, for this part of the stream, guys, we are going to open it up to questions. You can ask me a question about absolutely anything you like. It can be about keyboards, it can be about life, it can be about the new warehouse, it can be about whatever you'd like, guys. You can ask me about what I do for a living, you can ask me about what room I'm in my house. All you need to do, guys, is just tag me and ask me a question, and whilst I'm soldering this together, I'm just going to check it for bent pins first of all, because I think I've already spotted one. You can just ask me anything you like, and we will go through the questions. So you can tag me at TopClack. Once I finish checking these and I start to solder, I'll answer all of the questions that I can as quickly as I can and concisely as I can. So please feel free to ask away. Make sure it's stream safe. If it's not stream safe, I won't answer it. If it is stream safe and you word it correctly, I will answer any question whatsoever that you throw at me. Doesn't matter the content, doesn't matter whether it's keyboard related or not. I will answer it where I can, as long as it's going to be stream safe. Okay, I think we've only got one bent pin. Yeah, just one bent pin, so I'm just going to change this over. As soon as this is changed over, I'll start to look for your questions, guys. I'll see a few of them come in. There we go. Awesome, there we go. We are now good to solder. Let's get ourselves prepped for this. Okay, see a few questions in. Let's see what the first question is then. Hey Jay, what's the screw size on the bottom of the J-02? I prefer black over silver ones. So they are M3, but I'd have to check the length. I think they're 8mm, but they are Torx screws. So this is what you are looking at: M3 by 8mm Torx. You have to make sure you get the right diameter head though. If you want the details, then DM me on Discord, and I will find you out the details. Lord Chris the Maniac says, what room am I in? So I'm in my home office. This room is on the first floor at the rear of the house. It's supposed to be a small bedroom, but I've converted it to an office. It is exactly 3 meters long by 3.5 meters wide. So from the wall where the monitor's mounted to the wall behind is 3.5 meters. So it's not huge, but you know, 3 by 3.5 meters is pretty big enough for me to stream from, and for me to do all of the other stuff that I need to do for keyboard content. Walker says, do you pour the milk before the cereal? No, I pour cereal and then milk on top. Will you be at KeyCon in September? Unlikely. I think next year is going to be my next US trip. Yeah, sadly this year with COVID, I am not looking likely that I will get to any keyboard meetups apart from ones in the UK, sadly. As much as I wish that wasn't the case, because I really enjoyed going to Seattle last year. That was one of the highlights of the year last year for me, and that's almost a year ago now. It's you know, another 8 weeks and that'll have been a year ago, which is absolutely crazy to think about. But yeah, sadly not KeyCon this year. Is a hot dog a sandwich? No, it's a hot dog. Yeah, I would say it's not a sandwich. Same as I would class a burger as not a sandwich. Same as I would class a cheese melt as not a sandwich, or a toasty as not a sandwich. They just aren't. Has the dog ever tried to eat any keyboard parts? Yes, she ate I printed off a load of switch openers, and I used a scented resin that was strawberry scented. She chewed a lot. She didn't eat any of it, luckily, but she did attack it with gusto. She's also chewed a couple of keycaps. They were artisan ones, not like GMK or anything like that. One of them was from Keyforge, and that was again a scented keycap. It smelled of vanilla, and she chewed that. It was a shishi. If you live in one fictional reality, what would it be? Ooh, fictional reality. What would it be if I could live in one story timeline? What would it be? Probably I'd pick Serenity or Firefly. If you guys haven't seen it, the Firefly TV show, that would probably be the one kind of fantasy environment that I'd like to live in. Just kind of feels like my kind of thing. Perhaps I'm significantly wrong and I'd be terrible at it, but yeah, I'd go for that. I'd at least give it a good go. Cryptoid says, are you confident in obliterating your next competitor in mech trumps? Yes, absolutely, 100%. Jaffa cakes or bourbons? Bourbons all the way. All the way. What's your keyboard of the year so far? I don't know, to be honest. There's so many. I think I'm really, really happy with the TMO50, the V2. I need to get it built before I can say yes or no to that. Other than that, I'm really, really happy with the Jane CE, which is a kind of obvious answer, and I hate to give it. I'm trying not to pick any of the products I've been involved in. What else has been really good? I'm really interested in a couple of Canon keys boards, so the Rect 1800. I'm really interested in trying one of those out at some point soon. I think my personal favourite keyboard purchase this year has been the J-02. Now, I know that didn't run this year, the group buy for it, because mine's an original one, but it was new to me this year, so I'd probably pick that. Okay. Next question is from Luna Sammy, says, why don't you lube the housings? So with 205 grade 0, I find that the lube transfers to the housings from the stems where it needs to be anyway. I just find that lubing the housings as well just means that the switch tends to feel over-lubed and a bit mushy. So I try not to. The less lube, the better. The smallest amount of lube you can use is always going to be better than the largest amount of lube. So I just try and base it on that philosophy. That if I don't need to add additional lube, I won't. What do you use to hold the iron? So this is just like a copper ball inside a metal housing, and then I just rest it in there at an angle. And then once it's done, it just goes back in the drawer once it's cooled down. I'm pretty new to building, and a PCB that was working previously has failed the escape key. Can't find any trace damage or pulled pads. What should I check next? Double check your solder joints, try reflowing them, make sure that everything's working from that perspective. If it's not, check that your key map is correct as well. You might have it on a layer, or you might have it reprogrammed as something else. If you still can't get it to work, you could try jumping it to the next key in the trace. It all depends on how that keyboard is particularly wired, but you could try jumping it to that. It could also be the diode that's fried as well, so you could try replacing the diode, or again jumping the switch to the next nearest diode as well. So there's a couple of different options and things that you can try there. If none of those work, then the only other thing I can think of is trying to reflow something on the MCU. I try and stay away from that unless you're a more advanced user, but that could be a final option. Failing that, I'm afraid it would be get a new PCB if you really need that key. It could also be the switch as well. It's always worthwhile just checking the switch and seeing if the switch needs changing or something like that. Next question. How do you like your eggs cooked? I think poached is my favourite way of having eggs. I'd rather have a poached egg than anything else. But my wife does do really, really good scrambled eggs, in very similar to the Gordon Ramsay style. They're absolutely delicious. She's very good at those. Oh, my mum's better, but don't tell her that. My mother-in-law, she makes really good eggs. She makes really good eggs. Ooh, very nice. Yeah, Morvin Mad, perfectly timed. Thank you very much, dude. Thank you very much for that. Actually, what would you folks or Jay recommend for a lube station? I'd recommend getting one of these off of Taobao. The links are pretty easy to find. It's 7 or 8 millimeters thick acrylic. Works perfectly as a lube station. What's your favourite vintage Alps keyset and why? My favourite vintage Alps keyset is the Sony M3501. Sorry, not Sony. Apple M3501 keyboard, especially with the vintage Arabic letters that I've got. So it's got Arabic sub-legends on it. I think the board's just to one side. If you guys want to see it, I can show it off later on. But it's got really nice Arabic sub-legends and UK ISO included, which is really, really nice. Okay, they're probably my favourite vintage Alps keycaps. Can you please give J-01? No, sorry. An actual question note. Got a favourite type of beer? Yeah, I like a pale ale. If I had to pick anything, it'd be pale ale. Apparently, I've never been so wrong. I don't know what I was wrong about, James. I'm really sorry, but I appear to have upset you with one of my answers, so I'm very sorry. But I stand by everything I've said. A hot dog is a soft taco. Fair enough. Early start tomorrow. Got to go. Enjoy the rest of the stream, Jay. Thank you, man. Thank you, dude. Class-based press lighting government. Firefly Serenity, very shiny. Absolutely. Jay's character, one of the first to get eaten by a Ravager. Probably, yeah. Zapri, I'm not going to answer that. That's a really unfair question because you're asking me to rate one of my boards against someone else who I really highly rate. It's not really a fair question. As someone else who's used both the J-02 and the Prophet, it really wouldn't be fair for me to answer because I'm going to be biased towards my own stuff, and I'd consciously be aware of that. So I would then probably promote the Prophet over my board, but it wouldn't necessarily be an accurate reflection of my personal feelings because it's really hard to do it in that case. It's kind of a really unfair way of asking me that question. Is there any keyboard of yours that sound bothers the dog but not necessarily the humans around? No, I don't think so. She doesn't like it when I use the beam spring. She really, really hates that. She hates that noise. But other than that, no, there's no other board that she dislikes. Okay, next question comes from I Love Chiletas. You got a favorite keyboard designer so far, or key sets? In terms of key sets, I really like Puade. I think he does really good stuff. That's really his stuff's always really, really nice. Rensuya's good some of the time. I don't mean that negatively because I think all of his sets are great. They're just not all for me. But the new Moomin one, wow, that really, really blew my socks off. I really, really like that. That's a must buy for me. Abek's always good as well. Abek 13, he's always good. Keyboard designers, I really like Noxery's stuff. His stuff's always really good when he includes ISO. He doesn't always, but when he does include ISO, it's really good stuff. I also like AIO3. I think he doesn't design bad things. Pona as well also designs really, really good things. And of course, I do a lot of work with Flex and James AKB as well. I think both of those guys are really at the top of their game. Top Clack, holy moly, that was extremely detailed. Thanks, friend. No worries, dude, as long as you're happy with my answers. What temperature do you tend to run on your TS8 100 when soldering? So about 320 degrees. It fluctuates between 320 and 330, so it's 328 right now. It's usually towards the top end of that range. I do adjust that depending on what solder I'm using. So if I'm using a thinner gauge solder, I'll tend to drop that by 10 degrees. If I'm using a thicker grade solder, I'll increase it. This is 0.7 millimeters thick solder. Normally I use this. Sometimes I drop down to 0.5 millimeters for thin stuff. Sometimes even smaller for SMD work, at which point I will drop my temperature slightly. And if I'm using really thick solder, like 1 millimeter or thicker, which I tend to use on the cars, then I'll probably bump it up to somewhere closer to 350. Okay. A cheese toastie is still a sandwich, damn it. No, it's a toastie. It's not a sandwich, it's a toastie. You change the name of it when you put it in the oven. A toasted sandwich is not a toastie. It's not a sandwich, it's a toastie. or a grilled cheese, or whatever else you want to call it, or a croque monsieur if you're in France. You know, I know that's slightly different, but you know what I mean. That's like saying a pastry is a pie. It's not really, is it? It's not really. Cornish pasty, I wouldn't class that as a pie, but following your rules, I'd have to. Okay. Let's see what's up next. Yeah, you made it. Good evening, Top Clack in chat, says Unicorn. Thank you very much for joining, Unicorn. Good to see you, dude. Okay. Almost there now, guys. We're just on the home stretch on the bottom row. And then once we've done this, tested it, you guys get to decide what keycap set we're going to use today. So we'll have 3 choices for you. I'll run you through them shortly. Mr. McGurk says, Top Clack, I have a Tokyo 60V1 bought off RMM. I flashed it when I received it. Sometimes when I boot my computer, the keyboard doesn't work, so I unplug a USB mini and plug it back in, and it works fine. Solutions. That sounds like it's a programming issue with the PCB. I try reflashing it. Sometimes that happens depending on how they're implemented in QMK or whatever other software they use. Sometimes you'll find that, like, even if you put your PC to sleep, they won't work on restart. It tends to be because of software inconsistencies. So I just try and reflash it with whatever the latest software is for that particular board. Usually it's a case of, like most tech problems, turn it off and back on again with a new bit of firmware in it, and it tends to resolve itself. Almost there now, guys. Okay, that is soldering done. What switches, keycaps do you have in your SKB? I have got GMK Taro on it right now, and it has Holy Pandas in there. Okay, there we go. Move that to one side. There we go. Toast is still bread, but putting in the toast changed it. It's not bread, it's toast at that point. That's like saying dough is bread. It's dough, you cook it, it's bread. It's bread, you cook it, it's toast. If you can look me square in the eye, Huey, and tell me that the dough that you make the bread out of is still bread before you cook it, I'll let you have that one. Mr. McGurk says, thanks Gio, I'm using QNK Toolbox and have the hex file for VIA. There you go. Well, bake, whatever, you know, same difference. It's a good thing you're in banking, not cooking. These are from fire takes, I love it. Jay Kratos is here, he says, what's up, Top Clack? First time catching it on stream, on the online. What you think about NK blueberries? Underwhelmed so far, but I need to put them in a board to try them out. Mike is sending me a full batch to try out. I've only got 3 or 4 at the minute, so it's difficult to make a judgment. Gut feel, not a fan. Cool. Okay, so that's all of that done now. So guys, if someone is willing, I'm going to look to either James or Gio because they're both around. James works with me a lot and Gio is a mod. If someone wants to set up a quick straw poll, we can choose on keycap sets. We can choose on keycap sets. Popcan85, are you a full-time streamer? Gosh, no. No, no, not at all. I have a full-time day job. I have a full-time company that I run outside of my day job, and streaming just fits in around both of those. But I do 2 full-time day jobs at the minute. So AKB James or Gio, very nice. Thank you very much, Glacier. Gio, can one of you volunteer to put together the straw poll, please? No, I'm not a workhorse. I have a day job that's really good. I work for a bank, and yeah, it's really good. I'm ready. What are the options? Okay, so guys, today we have 3 options. Gio's going to create a straw poll, and you'll be able to vote. We have an unopened version of Honeywell. This has never been opened. It's still sealed. We have an unopened version of Honeywell. That's option 1. Option 2, an unopened version of GMK DMG. This is still unopened, brand new, never been opened. Option 3, This has been opened. GMK Deep Space. So, don't vote in chat, guys. Geo is going to set you up a straw poll where you can vote. We'll take a few minutes to put the board together and test it out and everything else, and then we will see where the vote's up to. Keep your eyes on the chat. Geo's going to post the links and everything else. There you go. Are you a loan officer, the bank, or underwriter? No. I am a program manager stroke product owner. I run large IT infrastructure change across the bank. I definitely wouldn't want to be a loan officer. That's not something that would interest or intrigue me. Okay, so guys, as I said before, this is dead simple to put together. All you need to do is push the plate and PCB assembly into the base. You do have to push the plate past the bottom gaskets, but it's pretty easy to do so. Sorry, the PCB just gets hung up on the gaskets in a little bit, but you can just give it a swift push and it will just click into place. So there we go. That is how you install your build. You'll see now, guys, that that's completely flush with the top layer of the gaskets all the way around, looking really nice and good. That's exactly where it needs to sit. We're then going to flip that over for a second, flip it that way down, just so it's pressing the right way. I'm going to take the top case, lift this back up, and then we're going to put the gasket into the top case like so. Sorry, the brass piece into the top case like so. I'm going to align that up, get these 4 pins in place. We're then just going to quickly flip that back over. We're just going to make sure that that's all pushed down and in place correctly. Once that's done, we're good to put the next section in. So that will now sit this way around. The switches, the board's too heavy now to push the switches out or to dismantle anything. So now what we're going to do is we're going to screw the brass piece to the top case. And we're just going to use these 4 screws to do just that. That's one. Honeywell is the wrong choice. It's already on screen. Yeah, it's already on the J-01. There we go. Want to see something different? That's fine. You guys vote. Vote away. Vote away, folks. Then we're just going to put in the last 2 screws. This is going to fully tie the brass and the top piece together, and this gives you the compression on the gaskets as well. So as you can see, this is dead simple to put together now. So much easier than the original J-01, so much easier than the original J-02. This, as a prototype, now works way better. Everything's put together. You'll see that there's still a gap here in this corner. That's going to be held together when the top and the bottom case are pushed together, and that'll all nip up tightly. So we're going to have no issues there with fitment. Everything else is looking good. There's no need to worry about alignment either, because it's all already aligned. You've got the right compression in the right places. Next job now is to put the brass pen rail in place and then screw that into position. We're just going to drop that in. We're then going to flip the board over, and we're going to just push that down onto the workbench so that's nice and secure. We're then going to secure it in place with 1 screw in each side first before doing the 2 middle screws. Yeah, we're doing a straw poll for the thing. I have no idea how it's going right now, but guys, be sensible. Be sensible. DMG is winning. Interesting. Okay, that's the pen rail now screwed together. I hope you guys will agree that was dead simple to do. The next job is to now put the cable in place for the JST connector. So we're just going to push that into place on the board. This is really delicate on this particular one purely because it's a prototype PCB, so I'm just going to be really careful putting this all together. I don't want to break it. I did have to resolder the JST connector back onto the motherboard earlier on today, onto the main board, the PCB. So I do want to make sure I don't have to do that again. So I'm just going to be really gentle with things here and try and connect this up nice and gently. Come on. Of all the things for me to struggle with, it's a JST connector. Come on. There we go. So that's now plugged in. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to gently lay the base on here. Now we can use the alignment pins to make sure that all clips together nicely. And you'll hear it drop into place when you get that just right. We can then flip the board over and we can then put the 4 screws in place. Oops, helps if I change the end to the correct torque screwdriver bit. We're just going to screw that in just gently to begin with, and then we're going to go around and tighten them all up afterwards. How much did the gasket compress? There is 3 layers of gaskets, each 1.5 millimeters thick. The compression over all 3 layers is 0.2 millimeters. The gaskets don't act like a traditional one. The J-02 actually sits on a skirt around the edge. It's not squished by the gaskets in place. It's used a friction fit to hold it into position. So it's very, very different to a lot of other gasket implementations. There is nothing underneath the plate at all supporting the plate. The plate would drop into the base of the case if the gasket wasn't there. So it's not like a sandwich gasket. It definitely sits on a skirt that runs right away around the edge. Okay. There we go. And you can see that's all now nice and neatly put together. It's tightened up nice and straight. It's all nice and flush. There's no issues in terms of fitment just there. Okay, so now we're ready to test the board out. So let me grab up a switch hitter, turn that on, and then we'll look at which keycap set you guys have chosen. So if I do this, can you see switch hitter? Yes, there you go. Switch hitter is now present at the top of the screen. Take the USB cable, plug it into the board. Okay, let's test this out and make sure it works. Okay, all looking good there. All looking good so far. That's FN, so it's probably not going to show up as anything. It might not be programmed. There you go, it's proof it's doing the F keys. And we've got... Okay, just need to reprogram that one there. Okay. My phone keeps going nuts. I wonder what that noise was. It's my phone vibrating on a wooden chair. I apologise if that sounded like anything else. So there we go, guys. That's the whole board now working. I'm going to unplug that and replug the original board back in. Try and do this blind. There we go. Right then, let's get rid of switches so you guys can't see it. Let's see what you've voted for. Let me open up the straw poll. I'm going to have a vote as well. Okay, so it looks like DMG is winning with 40% of the votes. Nice. Is Handabite an option? No, sadly Handabite's on the Satisfaction 75, which Upas hates, so there we go. How much do the gaskets compress? We talked about that. Jay, where do I buy my Switch films? I might be buying some to stock from TX Keyboards, so they might be on my store soon. Anno matching screws. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I kind of like to have the silver ones because it matches all of the colours. It doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look out of place. Torque screws are better than anything else in my view. So, yeah, I mean, I'd rather have them work great than look good. But yeah. So British. Well, I am British. I'm from England. That's the way it is. Good evening, Vandal. Thank you very much for joining. Has the USB cutout changed from the J01 to the J02? No, the USB cutout is broadly the same. It's going to be difficult to get this to focus to show you. Come on, focus. There you go. It's nice and tight, nice and recessed. There you go. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. This is why you should switch to VIA testing. It does the matrix regardless of the key map. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so DMG won. Okay, so we are going to go with DMG. Okay. Oh, right. Jay, did you show us the USB cassette case? I just did. Hope you saw that. Worth joining the Holy Panda group buy from Drop. Just get a quick 70 switches. My view, no. I think the Yoks are better for Holy Pandas these days than Holy Pandas are. So I don't like shiny. At least matte black or dark grey or something. Fair enough. Fair enough. Can I get 205 grade 0 and films free? Not right now. I will have some 205 grade 0. I just need to find time to put it on the store. That's probably going to be tomorrow night. The films are going to be a few weeks out, but yes, they should happen at some point soon. Tactile Yoks, yeah, purple stem. Yeah, I have got some somewhere. I can't get into the drawer right now because I put key sets in the way. Man, this is so good. There we go. Yes, talking about purple trash pandas, yeah. The York switches. Hey Rob, thank you very much for joining. We are just about to open GMK DMG and put that on this particular board. So this set, guys, this has never been opened. This is still sealed. So this is the first time I've ever done this. There we go. It's not sealed anymore. It is now open. Bueno Builds, very welcome. Thank you very much. Ever tried Pacos, or are you more of a heavy tactile fan? I didn't enjoy Pacos at all when I tried them. I was really not a fan. Really not a fan of them. Just, yeah, didn't like it. Seal broken. Yeah. Key set. Now I have seen this before on a few different people's boards, but this is my set. It has now been unboxed, unsealed, and it's ready to go. I kind of feel slightly annoyed that I've opened this because, I mean, I've still got some sets that are sealed and have never been used. Bento for one, that other set of Honeywell down there. I think I've still got Olive that's not been sealed. GMK Calm Depths, Waves. I've got a Space Cadet and a Modern Dolch set that have never been opened. What else have I got? I've also got a set of Metropolis that's never been opened and a set of Minimal that's never been opened. I think that's it. I might have a few others. When's the plate group buy coming? Soon. I've just been moving warehouses, so that has taken up a lot of my time. The warehouse move is pretty much done now, so the additional group buys that we had planned, such as the plates and stuff, that will be coming very, very soon. Probably looking to start in the next couple of weeks. It's been a little bit delayed. We just needed to move warehouses and that took time, unfortunately. Okay guys, so next thing you need to do is tell me which accents we should use on here. So of course we can use all of the standard alpha keys, but I can put accent keys on the ISO enter and the escape key. Should I use them or should I not? No, it was the V2s and onwards smudge where they had issues. They're a kind of weird switch. Yeah, I just didn't like Pacos at all. Same as Zycos. I'm not a fan of the Zycos massively. They're not terrible switches, just not for me. No accents. Okay, no accents it is. We will use 0 accents whatsoever. More votes for no accents than anything else. Well, these are supposed to be the buttons off of the old joypads. Okay, now one thing I am going to use is I'm going to use this stepped caps. Oh no, wait, have we got stepped caps? Oh no, we've got full caps. Why have we got full caps on this plate? Oh well, I was going to use the windowed stepped caps lock key because that's just a great key, but we're going to have to use a full caps lock. My final personal build of this will have stepped caps lock and a very fixed plate for it, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, I do like the colours of this set. The alphas are really nice. This is going to be a sexy keyboard. Yeah, man. Rip packaging ruined. Dude, I've already opened the whole set. It's fine. Accents look like purple blobs to me. That's fair. That's fair. I know, yeah, full caps. It shouldn't have been full caps. It should have been stepped caps, but hey. It's a prototype plate. These things happen. Client build. I rarely do client builds. If you check most of my streams, most of my builds are personal ones. This one is my personal board of my design, CAD work done by James, produced by Upas of Canon Keys, and my keyboard with the EU proxy before I had my store. So yeah. But most of the builds I do on stream are my personal ones. Next week I'll be building my personal shop board, my workshop board, which will be the TMO50. I'm going to use H1 switches for that, I think. So I'm really excited for that. I think that build's going to be great. That board's going to sound so good. But this is the first production J-02 off of the production line. I do have the prototype as well, which I just sent to James AKB as a thank you. It happened. I have a full few caps boards too. Don't tell anyone though. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. As I say, this is a prototype plate, so I can get away with it. And a prototype PCB. Once I get the actual final production PCBs and plates in place, it'll be a very different situation. Okay, where is the split shift? There. Text got me looking in all the wrong places. It's not here, Mr. Petrov. It's at the workshop. I told you I've been using it at the workshop for the past 2 days. It's not here. I can't bring it on stream because it's not with me. If you really want it to be on stream, Mr. Petrov, I will bring it onto stream and I'll have it here in this position for the build stream next weekend. I will promise you that. How about that? Would that do you? No, I didn't end up going to the workshop today. Too many things to do at home. Okay, and we need the shift that's just going to pop in there. There we go. And what we're going to use for FN? We'll use the FN key, of course. Okay, and then the 1.5 unbox. Okay, I kind of don't want to put the standard keys there, so I'm just going to put start and select there because I think they fit really, really well, just with the theme of the keycap set. Okay, and then we need to open the 7U spacebar from this set. There we go. There we go. Okay, let me pop this to one side, and then we'll see how the board looks and feels and sounds. Okay folks, so here it is. This is the production J-02 with GMK DMG. Get those colours up there nice and close for you guys. Fully gasket mounted, carbon fibre plate, the stock ISO one, give or take a few tweaks. Excuse all the fingerprints, but there you go, you can see. Let me pause the music, let me take my headphones off, and we'll see what she sounds like. Okay, it looks great, right, guys? It looks really, really good. Let me turn the fan off so you guys can't hear that as well. I'm not sure how loud the fan is in the background, but let me turn that off for a minute. Can you use the button Windows keys? I could, but I prefer these. I vastly prefer these. So let's give it a listen and see what it sounds like. Man, that sounds so good. That top row always sounds so good on these boards. That seems a slight tweak on the stabilizer, but it feels good. Man, I love these designs. They work so well, and I really shouldn't say that because they're mine, but yeah, guys, I hope you guys really, really enjoyed that. Yeah, let me just unplug this so I don't hit anything that I shouldn't do. Yeah, so James did all the CAD work. The design is from the design inspiration from this. All of the sound properties that were built into the J01 are transferred across to the J02. slightly the position. It's a larger board as well, so there's a larger area for sound to transverse underneath the keys as well. So the thing that these boards have is that you'll see it earlier on. They have a cutout inside for sound. So it's one of the principles of the design, and that goes way back to before the original J-01 was even a thing. There's no metal weight underneath the plate and PCB assembly. The reason for the brass middle is so that it's pure aluminium underneath. I think brass can negate the sound of a board and make it sound worse, so I don't like to put brass underneath there. It's very much a case that it sits in the middle to give the board some heft and some weight. This is all solid aluminium. The position in terms of the gaskets is basically how it works is that if this is the inside of the case and this is the plate will absolutely drop inside the case. The case is not supporting the plate in any which way, shape or form. It's not like it's a sandwich mount where it rests on the edges like that. That's not how it is. It's literally the fact that you then have a gasket that comes over the edges that the plate then rests on. That completely isolates the sound from the case. It's not like it is when you've got foam above and below the plate and the plate still effectively got the case underneath it. This board, there is nothing underneath the plate except for that one layer of gaskets, so that when you're typing down it, all of your force is going into the gasket rather than into the case, so there's no transference of volume into the case. That's basically how it's designed. That was the principle behind the J-01. James replicated that for me into the J-02, and he did it very, very well. So I'm really, really happy with that. I think it sounds great. I think it looks great. I think the changes we made for quality of life improvements to the production boards make a massive difference to how the board sounds and feels. And I think it's just a really, really solid board. Yeah, I'm really, really excited about that. So thank you very much, guys, for supporting me there. Yeah, so everyone misses that with the mounting. They always think that the way that the J series boards work is that the plate actually rests on the gasket on the metal, but it doesn't. And in fact, do you know what, guys? I'm going to show you this because I want to be clear that this is how it works and show you why. And I don't think anyone else has ever done this in a board. I don't think any other board, even those boards that use the full isolation mount and try and utilize this particular mounting method, I don't think anyone else actually does it this way. And this was one of the key design principles. J-01 update time. Yeah, the J-01 update's coming soon. Coming soon, guys. So, just to be clear, I shouldn't have ripped that off because that's pulled out of the daughter board, but that's what it's designed to do, breakaway. So guys, what you can see here is you can actually see in there, in that gap between the case and here, you can see the gasket. You can see the black line that runs all the way around. That is the gasket. The plate, if I took that bottom gasket out, the plate would actually sit in there. So if I take this assembly out of here now and show you guys this, I can show you that the plate would absolutely, if I took the plate out of the top, I could absolutely fit the plate in on the inside of this, and that will just show you how it sits on that skirt. And no one else does it this way. And this was one of the key design principles and the reason that I wanted to build the board like this. And this carries over from the J-01. This is the original way I designed the mount to work. This is the original specification I had, just brought forward to a separate board. No one else does it this way. No one else does it like Jay. Well, I mean, James did the CAD work for me, but this is the way I wanted it to be. I'm very specific about it, as James, I'm sure, will attest to. Outside of the newer, simpler gaskets, the Kepler is different. No, the Kepler doesn't work like this, Gio. So the Kepler actually doesn't work like that. The Kepler still sits on the thing you design. So when I was designing the original J series board, with it, the original CAD guy for that. I think he basically copied that idea and implemented it slightly differently. So I'm just going to push this through. Effectively, what you're seeing here is just the fact that the gasket is slightly bigger than the PCB, just to make sure that you don't have any problems with alignment. But as you can see here, guys, you can see this is the skirt that I talk about, just this bottom layer here, and that actually isn't supported by anything. So if I show you it from here, you'll see it's there, and then on there you can see that the metal's actually behind it. So that thin edge there is the only thing that supports the plate. And just to prove that, if I take the plate assembly here, you'll see that I can just drop that straight in all the way around. So you can see it fits completely in there. So if the gaskets weren't there, that plate would absolutely fall through the base of the keyboard. So there we go. So just to prove the point, guys, I just wanted to show you that that it is a very different implementation when it comes to the gaskets to what everyone thinks. Everyone assumes that it's still sandwiched between two pieces of metal somewhere, but it absolutely isn't. And that's why we don't rely on compression ratios on gaskets as well. So the issue I'm having here is pushing the PCB around the gasket. There we go. Well, stops the plate falling down if it's only supported from above. It's not supported from above, it's supported from below. That's where the gasket is, Gio. The gasket's there, so it's supported from below. It can't go above because the case is thicker and wider on the top, but you're pressing down into the board when you're typing, you're not pulling up. What is the IP rating? I can tell you it's IQ rating instead. How's that do you? So yeah, as far as I'm aware, Gio, the way that the mounting for this was used in the Kepler, which was designed after this, after the J-01, is slightly different because it is sandwiched under the case. I could be wrong because I've never built a Kepler, but I'm pretty sure that it's that way. If I am wrong, then I will take it back, but I'm pretty sure that no one else does it this way. Okay. This just shows you how easy this board is to put together as well, guys. So easy with the new gasket mounting system. You can just put it together within a couple of minutes, and it's all dead easy to do. What acoustic difference is it meant to make if the plate is sitting on the gasket with just its own weight versus being sandwiched from above and below? So, Mr. Petrov, the idea is that there's no pressure into the bottom case. The pressure is literally into the gasket. So you're not typing on something that's hard and firm. You're typing onto a soft area of gasket that's not supported by anything. So the gaskets have to be a certain strength and durometer to support that. But beyond that, effectively, it means that you're not transferring any sound by pressure into the case. That's the thought process behind it. You guys can judge whether it works and whether it sounds good for your own perspectives, but I think it does. I think it sounds quite good. Plug back in the JST cable for the daughter board. There we go. Drop it back on the alignment pins, just like so. And then screw it together. FE is J-02 grey. So the standard edition came in grey and black, and the limited edition came in E-white with copper parts instead of brass parts. Oh, Penguin droppings. I hope you feel better soon. I really hope you do feel better soon. I'm sorry if you haven't been able to stay for the end of the stream, but do feel better soon. I hope you feel alright. It's a bit loud for your taste. I mean, it's literally probably because it's really close to the mic. I mean, the mic's here. It's like 4 inches away. It's not actually that loud in in use. You could use silent switches, that would quieten it down. You could use thicker lube than I do, that would also quieten it down. If anyone is interested, I'll also make some files available for the inside, the trough inside the case. In fact, I didn't show you guys that, did I? Let me show you guys that. The trough inside the case is designed for sound, not amplification as such, but for sound recovery, for it to try and move around in there and to try and create sound rather than to just be a dead, dull, flat sounding board. So let me show you guys that trough before we just finally put the case together again. Disconnect this. There we go. So you guys can see here that there's two stages of the trough. So the brass sits flush with this top surface here, with this surface here. Then it has a step down onto this surface, and then it has a step down even further into the trough of the case. Nothing touches in the trough of the case. That literal trough here is just designed to enhance the sound, and it's designed to be effectively a reverberation chamber, so it actually sounds and gives a unique sound across the board. The reason for the double step is so that the sound is pushed in. You have larger keys around the sound, so there's a larger, so there's a smaller gap, sorry, there's a larger sound underneath the alpha keys with a larger space. There's a smaller gap underneath where the modifier keys sit, including the space bar, for that reason as purpose as well. The higher step is just because it makes it even all the way around at that point, and you have the same distance around the board at that point. It's just easier to machine. So that's the reasoning for the dual step. So there we go. Now what I can do is I can make files available so that if you want, you can fill this with foam, and then you can do that. You can just pop it in there. So lots and lots of thoughts and design went into this board, as I'm sure you guys can appreciate. It's not always just as simple as people think. There's a lot of thought gone into it. A lot of time between myself and James spent getting the CAD files just right, making these quality of life updates so that you guys can have a much easier build experience as well. But there's a lot of thought gone into the original design of the J-01, which is carried across to this particular version of the board as well. The J-01 has it as well, yeah. All of the design features that are included on the J-02, apart from the quality of life ones, are included in the J-01. So that sound profile, that sound trough, the gasket implementation is identical in terms of how it rests on there. The quality of life improvements we've made for the J-02 is the tab, so that it all highlights together and holds together a lot easier. The additional screw mounting to hold the brass to the top case, which prevents any alleviation of the gaskets causing the case to spread apart. And also then the gaskets have now got adhesive on. Those are the three big changes. The final one, which isn't related to actual quality of life, was the fact that the pen rail is now not magnetic, and that's just due to the manufacturer that we were using going out of business, as well as the shipping of boards with the magnetic pen rails could risk some damage, so now they're firmly locked in. And then the third reason as well now is there's no loose pen rail rattle that you can sometimes get when you shake the original ones. So there we go. Title, I'm still using this solder holder. Yeah, you got me this as a Secret Santa gift about 3 years ago. I'm still using that, dude. Still using it to this day. I reckon it's not loud at all in person. It's legit old gaskets. That's pure switch sound. It is. It's switch and plate sound. That's what you're hearing. Do you have any thoughts on the honeycomb pattern intervals or similar internal acoustic tones? I think they're interesting. I think we should play with them more. I'd love to be able to prototype a series of bases for the same keyboard and just have the same build 3 times with different materials grooved in there. So if I did the J-02 tray, for example, have like one with it filled, have one with it empty, and have one with like a honeycomb pattern in, have the same build, and test out all 3 boards at the same time. I would love to be able to do that. Absolutely. Yeah. Tidal is back, says Cohen. Yes, Tidal comes back every now and again. I know what he's coming back for. He's coming back to chase the package that's stuck in my warehouse at the minute, ready to go back to him. It will be on its way on Monday, or on Tuesday, sorry, not Monday because it's bank holiday, but it will be on its way back to him then. Just need to wait for DHL to come and collect it. Jax is here as well, saying you can sign out. I've just finished, Jax. You come here right at the very end of the stream. How much plate effect is there? Very little, because the idea is to increase the sound and dampen it. It gives you a softer bottom out that's not designed to be any flex in this build. It's slightly flexible. There is a slight bit of play in there, but not massive amounts. And it's not designed to have flex. Gasket doesn't equal flex. There are multiple ways to introduce gaskets to boards. This is primarily about sound. If you wanted more flex on this, you could use a softer plate material. You could use something like POM if you really wanted to, or maybe even PC. They would work just fine, and they would probably be a bit softer and more flexible. So yeah, there we go. Okay, so I think that's it, guys. That's the board. So there we go. More flex. Well, we've got you, Flex, man. That's what we needed. Yeah, just you. You were the hype train conductor as well today, Flex. You got the hype train conductor badge, so well done. You are the conduct of the train from earlier on today. Right then, folks, so that has been the J-02 build stream. We also did the unboxing of the TMO50. Any update on the group buy? Yeah, so the group buy, this is the first production board off of the production line for the J-02. The rest of the boards are now in production. They should be finished and shipped out sometime around August. That's where we're at. TMO50 build coming next week. I'm really excited for that. It's going to be my new workshop board to go with my new PC, which we built on stream the other day. I'm really excited for that too. Maybe we'll do some workshop streams and workshop tours in the next couple of months on the Prototypist channel. Build streams will stay on here for now and for the foreseeable future, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, TMO50 next week. Really excited for that. New workshop board. New workshop board. Man, I'm going to get this out again just to show you guys because I was really, really happy with this. But this is the case that you'll get as J-02 owners as well. So as you can see, the board just fits nicely in these. It'll have a custom cut foam inside. But yeah, new TMO50. Oh, we can open this up. There we go. So the foam here will be cut specifically for the J-02. And then yeah, this is the TMO50 that we've got. So it's the smoky grey polycarbonate TMO50. Really, really excited to build this one next week, guys. I think this looks great. Really, really happy with how this came out. Excited for that one. Cool. Okay, guys. So I think that's it, unless anyone's got any final questions. If you have, you've got a couple of minutes now to get those questions in. The polycarb looks great, right? Really excited to build that next week. So do come and check that out. I need to decide on a key set for it. Yeah, I haven't decided yet, but I need to work out what key set will fit and work well with it. But if you've got any questions, guys, now's the time to ask them, because if not, we're going to end the stream. Salvan's here as well. He says, when am I getting one? When are you getting what? Which one do you want? Which one do you want? DMG. I can't put DMG on everything. Okay, so Yuri for the win says, regarding polycarbonate boards, how easy to scratch one of those? I've heard that you can scratch it with your fingers. It is a soft material, you can scratch it. It's not necessarily scratching the board, but they are they're basically sandblasted to remove all the milling marks and everything else. And it's the finish that it leaves that's quite easy to damage. I just realised the music stopped. Jump says, do you know anyone who can manufacture keyboard sleeves in high 50 units? Curious for a project I might do. Yes, if you want a keyboard sleeve, reach out to me. I can help you get some keyboard sleeves made, yes. Just be gentle with the polycarbonate and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. What blank keycap sets do you guys recommend? Probably the best ones at the minute for blanks are the cherry profile ones that are on the Key Company's website. They're like $24, really easy to try out cherry profile, so yeah, really excited for that. Top Clack, do you ever question the questions people ask on here? All the time. Top Clack, now that is a good question. Absolutely. I always question Salvan, so Salvan, I think I owe Salvan some answers if he has some questions to ask me. Will you be able to buy extra gaskets? The gaskets are fully custom made. They will be extras if you want to buy them, but very, very limited. You shouldn't need any extras. Once you've installed them in the board, that should be it. You shouldn't need any extras. But I can arrange them if you need them later down the line. I'd rather not send out extras because they're expensive to produce, and you shouldn't need them because they fit in the cases perfectly and they're pretty tough and durable. And even if you swap out the board 10 times, it's not going to damage the gasket. Run CNC, yeah, absolutely run CNC. Putting on keycaps, sorry, Jax. Salvan, I think we still need to have a chat at some point soon. But yeah, I need to catch up with you. I need to catch up with you at some point. Cool. I think that seems to be it for the questions, so we're going to close down the stream there. Let's just have a look and see if anyone is online to raid. I'm not sure if anyone is online at the minute. Who can we see that's online? I can't see anyone keyboard related online. Am I missing it? Is there anyone else online, guys? Do you know? Ballpark time on the J-01V2 next month. Next month. If it's not too much bother, could I see what it looks like with arrows and the wing keys? Thank you. Not today. I'll take some pictures and post on tomorrow's app. No, okay, so no raids tonight. Selvin, you're not going live, I assume, so I can't raid you. But yeah, no raids tonight, guys. We're just going to close down the stream. But yeah, we shall see you guys again soon. And if you've got any questions about J-02, J-01, Lodestone, hit me up in the Discord channels. And thank you very much for watching. Come and check out the TMO50 stream next week. And go check out Canon Keys and my keyboard, because they're great people. See you later, guys.